I'm too sexy for my fur, too sexy for my fur, so sexy, meow. And I'm too sexy for dry food, too sexy for dry food, feed me wet food. I'm too sexy for inside, I want to go outside, let me back inside. I'm too sexy for this chair, too sexy for this chair, so I shed everywhere. I'm a feline, you know what I mean. I'm too sexy for...
Hello, meow, and welcome to the Whole Kitten Caboodle Variety Hour. I'm your host, David Bryan, and we've got quite a show in store for you today. The purpose of this show is basically to drive traffic to my Patreon page so that I can support myself with my diverse creative ventures instead of just sitting behind some stupid, boring desk for the rest of my life, filling out spreadsheets and kowtowing to the man. Now, I named my Patreon Irons in the Fire because over the course of my life, I've had many irons in the creative fire, so to speak. I have at least dabbled in and sometimes excelled at the following artistic pursuits: as a blogger, a singer-songwriter, a multi-instrumentalist, a eulogist, a photographer, composer, novelist, lyricist, which is not the same as being a singer-songwriter, mind you. Just ask Jerry Garcia or Elton John. I'm also a classical lyric tenor, an Episcopal youth group curriculum architect, and a vlogger as well. So I hope that you will stick with me because you'll get a lot of that in this next hour. Now, why the cats, you might ask? Well, when I was creating the Patreon page, I had to name the different membership levels, and I almost went with the boring universal membership tiers of silver, gold, platinum, diamond, etc. But then my love of and obsession with cats took over that process, and so here we are. And so that video you just saw of my lovely little Althea is an example of what goes out to all my supporters who sign up at the lowest level for the Street Cat Collective tier on the Patreon page. And for the next tier up, the Alley Cat Alliance, you will get a monthly delivery from my personal stash of previously recorded song performances, and I got a bunch of those. So let's cue this up right now. And in the interest of time, I'm going to give you just a real short taste. Let's see. John's band by the riverside. Got some things to talk about here beside the rising tide. Come here, Uncle John's band, playing to the tide. Come on along, go along, he's come to take his children home. So, like I said, that is just an excerpt from what you would usually get. Normally, you will get a full song delivered at the beginning of the month. And I'm not going in order with these tiers anymore, but one of the tiers is called the Feline Family, which features a once-a-week live stream performance. So obviously I'm not going to do a full performance right now, but again, just to give you a little taste.
Standing on the moon when I would rather be
Okay, next up are the Tabby Troopers, which is my tier devoted to blogging about every subject imaginable. Now, I will go ahead and say I do write a lot about the current political climate, but you'll find other subjects as diverse as food, sports, travel, nature, weather, holidays, aliens, cats, of course, a lot about the monotony of societal expectations, such as alarm clocks and boring full time jobs. Also, civics, music, artificial intelligence, and Grateful Dead. Again, of course. And these are obviously written out and they're delivered straight to your inbox. But to give you a taste, I'm going to read one of my shorter entries. And this one is titled, you could read along on the screen, is Tabby Trooper's Daily Blog, Never Ending Winter. And this was published about a month ago on April 28th. Never Ending Winter. It happens every year here in New York City without fail. The weather app lies constantly. Once March Madness is over, which for me personally signifies the official end of winter, I start checking that app every day, and it's always the same. Highs in the mid to upper 50s, lows in the low to mid 40s. It even got down to a low of 36 degrees just 1 week ago. Of course, with lots of rain as well, and drab, dull, cloudy, overcast skies. I know that isn't exactly freezing temp. This year was weird, to be sure. After this usual annual run of crappy, it will be warm soon enough weather, we actually had 3 consecutive days recently where the thermometer flirted with 90 degrees. So we went from 50s to an unseasonal near heat wave almost instantly. New Yorkers en masse shook our fists, cursed the sky in unison, and said, "No!" In return, Mother Nature smirked down on us and said, "Oh, not ready for that yet? Okay, fine. Here's 3 more weeks of winter then." Ugh. For purposes such as this. This year was weird. So I did a lot of videos for TikTok, and some of them were, rock and roll. Some of them were original music. But I also found myself recording some performances at the church where I sing, and this is one of those performances. And so I'm going to share this. I'm not going to play the whole song again for purposes such as this. And now we're going to do a quick public service announcement for cat rescue. This is the story of Chickpea.
I knew the moment that I rescued Chickpea that I had to share a story with the dodo. You okay, sweetheart?
So that is David Loop of Sierra Pacific Fur Babies. And I don't know how this guy ended up in my Facebook feed, but I'm so glad. Hello, and welcome to the Clouder Click. This is a remembrance project that I started during the pandemic as I started thinking about those that I've lost over the course of my life. I am now over the half-century mark myself, so I've made a lot of friends over the years as I've been involved in extensive various networks, which means I've lost a number of folks along the way. And for whatever reason, during the pandemic, I started compiling a list. Damn if it ain't long. Anyway, so these are basically remembrances that I've written for those folks that I've lost. But it doesn't only talk about them, it also talks about the impact that they had on my development as a human being. And they are called the Death Diaries Autobiography Through Loss. And we'll start today with entry number 1, the Reverend Charles Morris Hawes, 1938 to 2022. The world lost a giant today, like a real giant. Charlie was to the priesthood what Bernie Sanders has similarly been in the political world, a genuinely compassionate and caring human who spoke truth to power throughout his life. As one friend posted today, Charlie was the best sort of meddlesome priest. Truer words were never spoken. I don't know for a fact that Charlie, like Bernie on occasion, has ever been arrested while witnessing on behalf of social justice issues, but it sure wouldn't surprise me. I grew up going to Episcopal Youth Conference. He let me know that I was in the wrong, and I received that message loud and clear, instead of throwing it back on him and huffing out, breaking ties, as is often the response on the part of a young man being confronted with his own shortcomings. But most importantly, I found a friend. In my deepest, darkest episodes, Charlie was there. I remember meeting with him weekly for a while when I was going through a particularly rough time in my life for a couple of weeks. He let me know that I would simply walk with him around his neighborhood so that he could get the exercise necessary to help heal his heart. On those walks, I often thought of John Steinbeck's Travels with Charlie, if nothing more than for the title. But here I was, with this giant of a man that I probably idolized, who was now feebly fumbling around, just trying to put one foot in front of the other, as I perambulated in tandem, ready to assist if he lost balance or started to fall. It was likely a humbling experience for both of us. Maybe that's why he felt called to ask me, who the hell knows. To say that Charlie was one of the single greatest influences on my adult formation would be an immense understatement. Charlie taught me how to move past being a candy-ass Christian, his term, into one of for a couple of weeks in order to simply walk. Hello and welcome to the Calico Corner, where I am just starting out with this tier. Did my first one the night that I found out Bob Weir died. And I've been wanting to sort of jumpstart this tier as far as the offerings go. So today, I'm going to talk about the national anthem. Because somebody from Wellspring got a hold of them, and they had me do the national anthem. And I did, I guess I did a pretty decent job with it, because after that, they called me up and they said, Mr. Bryan, what are you doing for the rest of the summer? We would like you to sing the national anthem for all of our games. So this is the Durham Bulls Baseball Club, made famous through Hollywood with the movie Bull Durham. Somebody from Wellspring got a hold of them. UNCG Duke basketball game. I'm going to set my phone here a little bit. And so it got, and you would be surprised because the Cameron Crazies are, I mean, they got that name for a reason. They're a rowdy bunch, but they were supremely respectful of me and of the national anthem and of what it meant. It meant so much more in those days. But they're all sitting there with their heart over their hand, very serious look on their face. And then it came to that line right up to the lead up at the end where it says, "Oh, say does that star-spangled," and right when I hit that, oh, every single person in the student section threw up an O and said, "Oh," in the middle of while I was singing. And again, nobody warned me of that. And I, as best I could, tried to keep from laughing and somehow made it through for the UNCG.
Where did you come from, you cosmic cowboy? Sometimes referred to as the other one. You walked this earth for nearly a century with the intent of simply seeking out fun. We like to send him off with this song. We're all weird. Some have been for decades. Some just recently, some yet to be born. We just want to thank you for all that you gave us, and we'll carry your torch while we mourn. We like to send him on.
I have a question for America. What in the ever-living hell are we doing? This is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. SNAP, gutted. Medicaid, gutted. Medicare, gutted. Health insurance premiums, tripled or quadrupled, all while billionaires and corporations get permanent tax breaks. Social Security on the chopping block. The MAGA Speaker of the House laments on live TV that our poor little Congress people can't live on $174,000 a year. Meanwhile, the federal minimum wage remains at $7.25 an hour, a rate set 17 years ago. All while inflation, gas, groceries, and all other goods are skyrocketing. Concentration camps are being built all over the nation with incinerators for disposal of whatever. Concentration camps. We're one step away from separate colored water fountains. Billions for a war of choice we are obviously losing, and we're about to run out of gas and possibly food. We're one step away are becoming second-class citizens. Calls for execution of parents of transgender children. Data centers globally built exponentially at lightning speed with no public input whatsoever when 99% of the public are opposed. National landmarks altered willy-nilly as our nation's capital begins to resemble North Korea. National parks auctioned off to the highest bidder. Cyanide bombs authorized to kill off animals on public lands. literal golden statues of this president, and prayer services actually thanking God for a divinely mandated ballroom that we've apparently been waiting 250 years for. The entire government is equal parts corruption, national landmarks altered, will say, leading the women astray, but I say it's the women today, smarter than the man in every way. That's right, the women are smarter, that's right, the women are smarter, that's right, the women are smarter, the women are smarter, that's right. It ain't me, it's people.
Hello, David.
Hey, Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Doing fine. You want to give us an introduction?
Yes. So this is, as you know, for my Patreon page, where I'm just doing a whole bunch of different creative things, and I created this basically little group or tier where I speak with clergy people and scholars about Grateful Dead and religion, Grateful Dead and theology, Grateful Dead and religious experience, et cetera, et cetera. Dead and theology. So Andy did apparently a sermon series at why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself now?
Well, yes, I am Reverend Andy Campbell. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and recently, and this was an occasion where, in the midst of a celebration of Pentecost in the Jewish tradition, came about this other event that we know as Pentecost, of the speaking in tongues and that kind of thing. And I'm not going to go into the theology of the ramifications, but it was this beautiful references. Particularly, this was an occasion. The women laugh and children scream, and the old man, the dreams and the band playing, and were they really there at all? Oh. We got so dizzy we forgot about the time. To me, that is Pentecost. That entire song to me was that Pentecost celebration. And sorry if I reference all of a sudden I hear the band was packed and gone. And were they ever here at all?
And they were on to another town.
Yes. But what remained was, this message. Well, what happened when the band moved on to another town? What happened when Jesus left one village and went to another? They followed.
Yeah.
They followed. And
Hey, this is Emily Tench, and I want to take the moment while I'm stuck here in the rain on my motorcycle to voice support for David Bryan. He's an incredible. Hey, this is Emily Tench, and I